Hey there, it's Jennifer from the blog The Everyday Farmhouse. Today I'm going to show you how we made this neat little trug or hod or harvest basket, whatever you want to call it, made of wood and then hardware cloth on the bottom so that you can hose your produce off, or your flowers or your potatoes or carrots or whatever, before you bring it in the house. So I really love that the bottom's open like that and you can just hose it off. And we made the handle to pivot back and forth, which is nice in case you need to get that out of the way. You could probably make this out of scrap wood or a pallet, and it's simple to make. Even if you have to purchase the lumber, you'd probably make it for under $25. So I'm going to show you exactly how we did this. Let's get started. Okay, to begin, you'll need a 3/4 inch dowel. You'll need a piece cut 20 inches long for the handle, and then two 1-inch pegs to where you're going to attach the handle to the end pieces of the basket. You'll need two end pieces made of 1-inch thick lumber. You could cut 1x4s or whatever you need to piece it together, or you could use plywood. And the side and end pieces need to be 8 inches by 14 inches. You'll need two side rails to where the hardware cloth will attach at the top. Those are 20 inches long and those are 3/4 inch square. And then your two handles will be made of a 1x, and they'll need to be 2 inches by 14 inches, and then you'll cut that to shape. And then you'll need your hardware cloth cut to approximately 20 inches by 29 inches. To get that nice rounded edge on the end pieces, we traced around an old coffee can. It was 6 1/8 inch diameter, and then using a bandsaw, cut along that line, and then of course sanded it down smooth. Next, we used a drill press to cut all the way through a hole in the middle, and I have the dimensions on that in the description where you need to from on center. And you're going to go all the way through on that cut, all the way through to the other side, as this is where your handle will attach, and your little 1-inch peg will go all the way through that end piece. For your handles, you might need to rip some boards to get it 1 inch thick. It's what we had to do. And then to get the nice shape, we just used a paint stick to trace. I liked the shape of that, and it just gave it a little more interest than just a square handle. And then again, using the bandsaw, he just cut out that shape carefully. And then of course you're going to want to sand that nice and smooth once you get it all cut out. For the bottom edge of that, he just rounded it, also using the bandsaw. Next, for the handle, you'll need to use a drill press or a drill with a nice size bit that's going to make a place for the handle to go through, and then your 1-inch peg, and that's a 3/4 inch dowel. So you'll want to drill a hole that's 3/4 inches, and you're not going to go all the way through on these. On the bottom part, you're going to go 3/8. Well, yeah, on the bottom you'll go a 1/2 inch deep, and then on the top you're going to go 3/8 inches deep. That way the peg doesn't go all the way through to the other side. Next, you're going to want to set your little pegs inside the handles, and those are just going to fit right inside that hole that you drilled, and then it'll go through the end pieces, and then your handle will move freely. It'll pivot back and forth. So you'll want to use some wood glue, and then after that you'll want to set that also with a nail, and I'll show you that in the next step. To make it a little easier, he hammered a nail through first to make it so it's almost like the same idea as pre-drilling a hole. And then he was able to attach the handle inside those, well, the dowel inside the handles that you made to give it the place for your hand to grip. And again, he's going to glue that and then reinforce it with a little nail as well. And then once you've hammered that in, it's a good idea to use a little set and tap that all the way in so that none of the nail sticks out. I didn't show my finishing process of painting and staining this, but I painted and then stained over it. And I also painted my hardware cloth. I used spray paint and painted that an espresso, like dark brown color. Now we cut our hardware cloth to the approximate length, but left a little bit of slack just in case it didn't come out right. And so he's mounting that actually underneath. And the excess, he's just using an angle grinder to cut that off. It's the easiest way, but if you don't have one, you can always use just snips to snip that across. And then he secured the hardware cloth and those side rails with staples. We had a pneumatic stapler, which is super handy, but if you have a regular one, that's fine too. I'm just showing you here how handy this basket is for being able to rinse your vegetables off before you bring them in the house. All the water just goes right out the bottom, and any little pieces of dirt and little buggies go out the bottom as well. I hope you love this basket, and I hope you give it a try.